From giant machines to underground history, this city is not what you expect.
Hi, I'm Justine.
And I'm Daryl.
And we're the Breakaway Bravehearts.
And today we're in Nantes, in France.
Many travellers skip Nantes for Paris and Marseille, but we're here in the off-season discovering a city that's constantly reshaping itself with sustainable transport, free access sites and lush green spaces.
And the ultimate example of reinvention? A giant steampunk elephant. This fabulous mechanical elephant takes inspiration from one of Nantes' great sons, Jules Verne. Jules Verne grew up in this port city, so he was surrounded by sailors with all their stories of adventure and all of their maritime innovations and technology. And this, of course, you can see in all of his books. Books like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Around the World in 80 Days, which have that steampunk futuristic vibe about them that have inspired things like this 12-foot steampunk absolute splendor is just magnificent. At Le Machine, you can see that creativity come to life. The elephant moves, sprays water, and entertains crowds of all ages. It's a spectacle, not just for its incredible mechanical engineering, but for the sheer beauty of the creation.
And it's just one of the ways Nantes embraces its innovative spirit. But while the city is all about forward thinking, it's also deeply rooted in its history. So let's take a closer look at the buildings that have witnessed centuries of change.
So we're on our way to the cathedral. However, we've read that the cathedral had a fire. So we're just actually going there for curiosity. And apparently, according to Google, I've now left the route. I haven't left the route. Quite a cathedral actually, isn't it? It's 450 years in the making, blended with medieval and Renaissance in style.
And it's a style that has truly stood the test of time. Through wars, revolutions, and the recent fire, it has remained a powerful symbol of resilience.
It seems that somebody was actually jailed for arson. The facade's all still intact, so it's just the roof itself that's been completely damaged. So I'm guessing that's what all these repairs are about. Giving it a little brush up afterwards too, by the looks of things.
With its soaring 37-metre nave, it's one of the tallest in France, an awe-inspiring Gothic masterpiece.
I mean, it's got a great facade, there's no question about it. It's a shame we can't go inside because apparently the vaulted roofs are fantastic. But sadly, as you can see at the moment, it's closed. Due to open in September 2025.
Once you do get inside, you'll find the tomb of Francis II and Marguerite de Foix, the last rulers of independent Brittany.
They lived rich and eventful lives just down the road in the magnificent Château des Ducs de Bretagne, a fortress that has transformed over the centuries, just like the city itself. I guess you could argue this is the ultimate example of repurposing a 15th century chateau now used as a low-energy museum. And if you're looking for the perfect time to visit, here's a bonus. Entry is free on the first Sunday of every month.
Free entry, unbelievable. Let's get some history.
Every stone in this building has witnessed a different chapter of time, and today the chateau has been beautifully transformed, with its unique shape and architecture creating a stunning space to wander through. The chateau's story stretches across multiple eras. Initially it was constructed as a fortress in the late 1400s and became the seat of power for the Dukes of Brittany, right up until the dramatic annexation of Brittany by France in 1532. Just half a century later and the fortress was transformed into a royal residence, with the help of some 16th century Renaissance style additions. This mix of styles reflects the chateau's evolving role throughout time. It holds the memory of significant events, like revolutionary upheavals that rocked Nantes in the 18th century, when the chateau became a prison for royalist sympathisers. Now, as a museum, the chateau offers a deeper look at the city's colonial past and the sometimes dark history of the city. Nantes played a huge role in the slavery industry.
In fact, the city was one of the main French ports involved in the trade of enslaved human cargo. Between the 17th and 18th centuries, over 1,800 ships left Nantes to Africa to transport enslaved people to the Americas. By the time the trade ended, Nantes had sent an estimated 500,000 people into slavery. Parallels of the city of Bristol are strong here, a British city which also heavily benefited from the slave economy. If you are interested in learning more about this, check out our video linked above.
But the Château Museum also highlights how Nantes has rebuilt itself a brighter future, showing its resilience through war and industrial growth.
What's amazing about this place is it does have a lot of information. Now, what we saw of what is in there was all French. I wish you had a bit more time and an audio guide as well.
You see, the one downside of free entry Sundays is that audio guides are not available. But honestly, we still really enjoyed the displays, especially the interactive ones.
Well, what would have been once upon a time to what it is today. We're heading towards the steeple. Aha, look, looks like we can go teleport. See where it takes us. Okay, now we're off to another land. Or are we?
Well, close. Actually, we are off to the market. Maybe we don't need to teleport to get a taste of what life was like in historical Nantes. Markets have always been at the heart of life here, from medieval trade to today's bustling Marché de Talensac.
This is Nantes' biggest and busiest market, and it's been so since 1937. It's where Brittany meets the Loire. You've got artisan breads, muscadet wine, and amazing local cheeses, right alongside the freshest seafood caught just up the coast. A lot of vendors are small farmers, and you'll notice a real focus on local seasonal produce. Some even go 0 kilometre, and plastic is kept to a minimum.
France has been cutting down on plastic waste in a big way. Since 2021, free plastic bags and bottles have been banned, so it's no surprise that at Talensac you'll see people bringing their own bags and containers. It's just part of the culture now. Of course, sustainability goes way beyond just shopping habits. In our next video, we're putting traditional rivals France and England head to head to see who's really leading the way on green initiatives. So hit subscribe so you don't miss it.
The market really is full on, bustling, noisy, packed with life. But not far away, we found another long tradition of life in Nantes with a totally different vibe. We're off to the beautiful Jardin de Plomb.
This 7-hectare urban green space is just a beautiful area. It's free entry and public can come and enjoy nature and art. It's an incredibly biodiverse area, which has obviously been lovingly cared for. And it has been for nearly 3 centuries. What started as a medicinal garden in the 18th century transformed into a lush, carefully curated oasis, home to over 10,000 plant species. It's a place that's always evolving. The idea of evolving nature is also shown in the art. The statue itself, designed to evolve as nature grows on top of it.
Drips with water, which gradually results in natural patina onto which moss and ferns will grow. I like the idea of that.
And that's the spirit of this place. It's not just a park, it's a living, breathing space that keeps changing with the city around it.
And just a short journey across the river is a completely different part of the city, one that has its own story of transformation.
We're in what used to be the fisherman's area, which is simply just a little travel over from the main city centre. You only need to take a boat journey over, and the boat is sustainable. It's an electric boat. Beautiful sunny day. Freezing cold, 3 degrees, hence the gloves.
The traditional inhabitants of this riverside village would have felt the chill too. Trentemoult was once a bustling fishing community that played a key role in Nantes' maritime economy, serving as a hub for fishermen, working the river in all kinds of weather, and contributing to the city's growth during the 19th and early 20th centuries.
What's special about this little area here is the houses are all different colours and it really adds a certain appeal. It's very, very trendy looking area here. The paintwork on these colourful houses are due to the sailors who came back from Mediterranean travel. They were inspired and decided to paint their houses. The only thing is obviously they had only certain amounts of paints, so they used the paints that were left over from the ships themselves.
Over the years, the residents of Trentemoult have kept up the tradition of painting their houses, but have combined it with modern sustainable living.
So this is another example of really great repurposing of historical buildings. Most of the village's cottages have been rebuilt using energy efficient and eco-friendly materials and insulation.
While the simple cottages of Trentemoult reflect the quiet lives of the fishermen just across the river, the grand buildings of Nantes tell a different story. A story of wealth built on the city's darker history.
We've come full circle in our walk through Nantes and find ourselves once again thinking of Bristol.
Quite interesting because this has got kind of like a real Bristol-y kind of look to it in some ways, doesn't it?
Another city in the process of transforming itself as it comes to terms with the darker chapters of its past.
So this wealth here creates a bubble.
Yeah, all money from the slave economy.
Yes.
These are the names of the slave ships.
Yeah.
Wow, goes all the way down here.
Yeah.
Look, there's still here on the other side.
Yeah.
So many, just from Nantes.
Yeah.
We're back at the waterfront, at the docks where, between the years of 1707 and 1830, over 1,800 ships launched their journeys to transport African slaves to the Americas.
So hidden underneath is this magnificent memorial to the people who suffered under the slave economy. I really love how they've included the actual words of people who were enslaved.
It's a bit like what we've just visited, the museum. The museum itself was once used as a fortress or battlement and war. So now it's trying to give back as something else. They've utilised it, turned it around, and I like that. I mean, it's obviously the minimum we can do, but it is something they've managed to restore this place of history and make history within that history. I find that really good.
We really love how they've tried to take a space that was once used for quite shameful purposes and turn it into something a little bit more respectful, more educational, more honourable to the memory of the people who suffered. I think it's to represent the hold of a ship.
It is.
To show how they were locked away, put down, all those metaphors around oppression. And the history itself, acknowledgement of what happened, was pushed underground. So I think it's a great metaphor.
The memorial may be a sombre reminder of the past, but it's also a sign of a city that's unafraid to confront and grow from it. Just as Nantes acknowledges its past, it embraces the future with open arms. It really is a city full of surprises.
So I've had a great 2 days in Nantes, not nearly long enough in my opinion.
This town really does have a lot going on, and we encourage you to come and explore it for yourself. As for us, we're off exploring further up north and we're heading back towards the UK. We hope that you will join us there. Until then, happy travels everyone.